Hey everyone, Thornton here, and I know we normally talk about the finals or Pal World or some other video game news, but occasionally we cover some interesting topics, and today I wanted to talk about the rise and fall of the Halo series. It has recently gone under fire just a little bit. It used to be one of the best games out there that you could get, but they have decided to discontinue their live service model, and they're going to do operations now instead. And with that being the case, I thought, why don't we go into detail on what exactly happened with Halo Infinite? So without further ado, let's jump into it. So we're actually going to go ahead and start with Halo 5 and briefly go over what happened with that game and how it led into Halo Infinite. At the time, the multiplayer for Halo 5 was actually pretty good. The maps were a lot of fun, and the new Warzone game mode they had, which was an evolution of the big team battle and had a ton of unique features in it, was actually fairly fun. Where it really faltered was the campaign, where it took a major step back and really became repetitive and not what Halo is known for. Halo 5 had come a few years after Halo 4, which was the first time 343 was at the helm of the Halo franchise and taking over from Bungie in terms of their mainline games. And with Halo 4 also being a steep decline in what we had seen with Halo 1, 2, and 3, there was a lot of questions after Halo 5 that went along the lines of, is 343 really capable under Microsoft of making a Halo game that lived up to the original titles? And it was at this point that Microsoft and 343 took a few years off of releasing Halo to really figure out what direction they wanted to go, and they decided on a live service game that would be the future of Halo. It would be Halo 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on and so forth. But at the same time, this would not be Halo 6, this would be a soft reboot of the series. So fans, even myself included, were willing to give this studio a shot at bringing Halo back to life in its former glory. And we heard rumors and leaks about the game, how it would feature an open world campaign, we would be getting Forge mode back, there would be so much to do in this game, and you would be able to play for years and years. And then we finally got, 1 year before the Xbox Series X and S release, a first look at the gameplay. And here's where we hit the first major problem with this game. Well, 343 Studios managed to create a cool open world where you could play as Master Chief. That open world looked like dog shit. The visuals on the Brute looked like they were taken from early Halo 2 back in like 2003, 2004 on the original Xbox. This is not what it should have looked like for a brand new next-gen system, yet this game was planned to be the launch title of that system. It was made to move units for Microsoft to really be the Xbox's big seller. Well, once fans and critics of the franchise started pointing out how horrible this game looked, Microsoft decided to put a delay on the release of Halo Infinite, and the delay would actually be 1 entire year from the launch of the Series X. And when the game did officially launch 1 year after it was originally planned to, it did look pretty phenomenal. The visuals were great, and the few multiplayer modes we got were fantastic and really fun, and it received amazing reviews from critics and players alike. I really enjoyed my time when Halo first launched. And here we come into problem number 2, the lack of content. There was no Forge mode, there was no firefight, there was no Warzone from Halo 5, there was no co-op campaign. And that leads me to actually ask, if this game was planned to release a year earlier when the Series X launched, not only would it have had horrible visuals, but there must have been absolutely no content in this game whatsoever, because at this point the game has been out for 4 or 5 months now, and we are still in Season 1 with really no new content being added in the form of modes. We've seen a couple of things like the SWAT mode make a return and a few other ones, but they haven't really been what we've been hoping for in terms of brand new ways to play the game that we haven't seen before. And this leads us to problem number 3. Now, some of you may remember Tim the Tatman and Dr. Disrespect making tweets saying that Halo Infinite was doomed to fail, that an arena shooter simply could not compete against the likes of Battle Royale such as Apex Legends, Warzone, and Fortnite. And to be clear, I actually think they're 100% wrong. However, they were right in the sense of Halo Infinite, because the arena shooter was really fresh and cool to play in Halo Infinite for the first few weeks. In fact, TSM Snipedown moved over from the pro scene in Apex Legends to go back to Halo. There was a lot of hype and people were really enjoying Halo Infinite's arena setting, which in this case actually does prove Tim the Tatman and Dr. Disrespect wrong, that people will watch this type of content. The problem was that it relied on that exact same gameplay for over 4 months with no deviation in it really, other than a small couple of change-ups. When you compare that to a title with a Battle Royale mode in it, there's a clear distinction, because a Battle Royale has the ability to be different every single time you play it. There's a certain reliance on RNGesus to give you the loot that you need. There's different rotations and with different types of competitors each match, and such large large maps to begin with, there are an endless number of variables to see how the game will play out, which makes it so popular for streaming. Halo Infinite, on the other hand, has much smaller maps with tighter rotations, similar loadouts almost every single game. So to be competitive against battle royales, if you're not going to evolve with the times and make one of your own, then you need to be pumping out new maps constantly, adding new game modes, and making it different and unique each week that you really get onto the game. And some people will say, well, you know what, back when Halo 2 was out, we played the same game modes and there was no issue with it whatsoever. And I agree. I am one of those fans that played Halo 2 almost religiously every single day and really never got bored of it. But the simple fact of the matter is that we don't live in that same time frame anymore. There are games out there that have new content coming out every single week with new cosmetics, which I'm kind of against because I don't like microtransactions, but there's new stuff to really do and new game modes coming out and variations, and so Halo really dropped the ball. You can even look at Halo's old developer Bungie, who went on to create the live service game Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, and regardless of your feelings on those games, you cannot deny that there is a ton of content in those games constantly being added. I believe Destiny 2 just got a massive new DLC, and what quite possibly has made me lose all faith in Microsoft is they went out and acquired studios such as Activision and Blizzard, but then Sony, seeing that, actually went out and bought Bungie. So obviously Bungie was open to being acquired, yet Microsoft somehow didn't close that deal when this is the studio that really put your system on the map. It's become abundantly clear that 343 does not know how to handle the Halo franchise and really make it successful, and the fact that Microsoft didn't throw ludicrous amounts of money at Bungie to buy the studio so that they could combine it with 343 to finally make good Halo games again shows me that not even Microsoft really knows where to go with this franchise in the future. I'm sure when Halo Infinite does drop new content that I will hop on, I will try it out, and hopefully it ends up being pretty solid. However, my complete hype for the game is dead, and it is really sad to see how this once amazing franchise, which is my favorite game of all time, has completely forgotten its roots and has shown a complete lack of innovation going forward. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on Halo Infinite, and if you are going to continue to play it, or if you are in the same boat as me. And until next time, everyone, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.